Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I've got a video for you about discipline versus motivation. It's a more philosophical video because I was feeling one of those, and you may have noticed that I'm even dressed the same as my last video. That's because I did the recording back to back because I am on a roll today. I've been working through projects immediately after leaving the gym. Well, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration. I left the gym, ate half a chicken, and now I'm doing videos today. But am I motivated to do this, or is this practice discipline? And which one is better? To answer the last question very simply and much earlier in the commentary that many of you are used to, discipline beats motivation 99% of the time. This may seem backwards to you, but don't worry, it did to me too at first. It took me a little while to learn this concept over the course of my life. In our media and in our society in general, we value motivation more than anything else. I think it has to do with the great man archetypal story of a person who wanted to do a thing, who needed to achieve a great goal and gave it their all towards that end. And when little kids learn the very simple histories of our nations, most of them are reading these great man stories about people that are motivated to change or do something. In every sports movie, the underdog team wins after a big inspirational speech from their coach to try even harder. And according to everything that we've been taught since we were little kids, being motivated is the best thing to be. Like, being motivated makes people great. And I think that's kind of backwards. I think that motivation is a good quality to possess, no doubt. If you're motivated, great, good for you. You can, of course, be motivated and disciplined, but motivation works through willpower, which is finite. That's another myth that we have to talk about today that many cultures have, not just our own Western ones, is the person of unlimited willpower. They have the infinite, they have the galaxy brain, they can think and push themselves through anything, that where an almost infinite number of other people have given up, have failed, where it worked too hard, where they couldn't do it. The infinite willpower hero just pushes on through with stubbornness, right? However, the reality is this isn't true. In the real world, willpower, my willpower, your willpower, and thus motivation because they're tied to it, are all limited. There is a finite supply of motivational energy in our bodies, and we do run down at some point. I mean, there comes a point where the supply runs low, and some people have more supply than others. Some people have a lot more. They're born with it, or they earned it over the course of their life, or whatever. But it will run out sooner or later, and when that happens, the dream crashes and burns. People stumble, they don't get back up, they burn out and quit, and that's where you really see people fail with a lot of the things that they would love to do in their lives. Is when they run out of motivation, that's it. It's just GG, it's game over. And I think that's because motivation is a good thing, and it's best for short bursts of effort, for extraordinary situations, for the final push when you've really got a great goal in mind, but it cannot possibly sustain you in the long run. But in the long run, discipline definitely can. And before I move into the next part of this video, I want to take a break and talk about today's sponsor, which is you. You're going to do something for me today, and well, it should help you too. Today, I want you to take a minute to think about somebody that wronged you, somebody that hurt you, somebody that you think is a bad person. And then I want you to come up with a plan to forgive them. Now hold on, I know that's going to be hard, and I know that somebody's going to write some troll comment about a person that murdered their whole family or whatever. We're not talking on that scale. This can be an annoying coworker, a bully at school, a teammate who's too self-centered, a snooty professor, just anybody really that you've been having a hard time with. And I want you to make a real concrete plan to reach out to them with the olive branch of peace and forgiveness tomorrow. And do it in person. Don't just send a text or whatever. Just tell them that you forgive them and it's okay, and that you want to try again. I want you to do that for me. I want you to do it for yourself as well, but I think that it will help a lot of you in a lot of surprising ways. Leave a comment below and let me know how it goes. I'll be watching them over the next couple of days. And now back on topic with discipline. Discipline is an entirely different beast of the mind, and it's powered by self-control. In this way, discipline is kind of the opposite of motivation, which is powered by want, desire, lust, whatever you want to call it. You can get motivated instantly. You can get fired up in the next 10 seconds, but discipline takes a long time to achieve. You have to earn discipline. You don't get discipline overnight. What makes being disciplined so much better than being motivated? Well, quite simply, it lasts longer and in more adverse conditions, generally speaking. To achieve discipline, you have to set a plan in motion. You have to make goals. You have to understand your own limitations and flaws, but also understand your potential. You have to plan to practice for so many hours, to grow, to master some skill, to have progress points and milestones. You have to make yourself get up and do it every single day, whether you want to or not. You have to stick with your plan, really rigid and structured and regimented with very little deviation. You have to be able to remove the emotions from your mind and make a purely rational long-term decision. And that's why I went with the weightlifting example today and the back-to-back videos. I am not motivated to lift weights. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you on that. Nothing about going to the gym is fun for me, or feels good, or anything like that. I think that people that talk about how fun it is to go run or how much they love lifting weights are just crazy, or maybe they're lying to themselves for some reason. I don't know, but for me, it doesn't work that way. I'd much rather sit at home, watch TV, smoke weed, and eat unhealthy food every day than I would go to the gym or make any of these videos or do a great number of things in my life. But the reality is, I'm not getting any younger. I'm actually a very old gamer, even though I may not look it. We'll keep the age secret for now. But I'm a pretty old guy, and I have to take care of myself because I'm playing a young man's game, right? And I have to go to the gym when I'm tired, when I'm sleepy, when it hurts, when I'm already sore, when I'm hungry, when it's too cold, when it's too hot. No matter the circumstances, every single day that rolls, I have to make the rational choice to do something that I don't want to do for the greater good. And this type of commitment fulfills itself after you complete the actions and not before, like with motivation. That's another way that they're opposite of each other. With motivation, you get that sense of fulfillment and accomplishment before you've actually done the thing that you mean to do. With discipline, it's the other way around. You are rewarded as you go, which works much better. And that's why athletes, soldiers, pilots, performers, all sorts of people in all sorts of professions, usually high demand ones, train for discipline. And that is because the performance stays over time and with changes as you age, as you move, as the weather changes, as something, you lose a finger or something, you just stick with it and keep on going. And that will work not just for weightlifting, that's my example today, but it could be for school, it could be for a sport, it could be for mastering a video game. So my advice to you today at the end of this video is to let go of the myth of the infinite motivation and instead embrace self-discipline. It can be discipline about literally anything. Of course, since we're playing gaming, if you want to be a pro gamer, if you want to be the best in the world, that's great. But you got to work at it. You got to put some real effort into training and building those 90s in Fortnite and getting good, right? That is something that you can't just wake up one day and be amazing at. If you look at pro gamers, most of them game about 12 hours a day. And you don't have to not be motivated. That's a little bit of a paradoxical sentence, but I don't want you to think that motivation is bad. You don't need to throw motivation in the garbage because motivation and discipline work very well together. All you need to do is make a plan, a really real plan, not a BS plan, not an idealized plan, but a real plan. You need to acknowledge exactly where you're at today with what you want, like what percentage, how far away you are from your goal, and make reasonable guesses at where you think you can be. You don't have to like wake up tomorrow a new man and just reinvent yourself. You can take baby steps. You can make small changes. Like the super obese people, the first step that they have for losing weight is just walking. Just literally, I'm going to walk quarter mile a day. Good. Do it every day. Don't stop. And it gets easier over time. And then work on that plan every single day, no matter the circumstances. Because at the end of the day, you have no days off from being yourself. There's no day that you can take off and not be you, so there's no day that this doesn't benefit you. And I think that being disciplined will be good for you in the long run, and of course enjoy motivation when it comes and goes. Guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned something useful, and I hope that I helped made your life a little bit better somehow. If I did, or if you just enjoy this kind of content or this type of Apex Legends gameplay or whatever gameplay I'm going to throw up there, then you could like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.